All right, let's go. I'm a tea person. All right, so today's video is gonna be more about my learning experience, how to use the camera, and I'm gonna go way to the beginning. So, as some of you guys know, I have a son. His name is Carlos. When he was born, me and his mom, we decided to get a camera to capture some family moments. I never, even though I was interested in the whole photography thing, I was never intended to be a photographer at the time. We're talking about, it's going to be 14 years ago. We get the camera, we take shots, we learn how to use the camera a little bit in auto mode. And at the time, we also had the iPhone 3 or 3G, and we were using those two Sony cameras and the iPhone for our photos, family stuff. It took me 2 years to jump from auto mode to manual mode. So we used to go out to the park, to Times Square, places like that, and I was never able to take pictures in the same way that I saw other people taking pictures with their professional cameras. Really clean photos, multiple shots, and I was always confused. Wait, why are only able to take one shot and they can take multiple shots? Because you can hear the shutter closing, and I was always like intrigued how to like learn how to do that. Long story short, my mom had a little like pocket camera, I think that's the name, silver Sony camera. So I used to borrow that camera and then like learn how to like focus, how to like put my subject in the picture. So I went back. I went from a DSLR at the time to these compact later cameras, and that's how I pick up how to like put my subject in the middle and stuff like that, because it was really easy to handle, and it was in auto mode the whole time. So I learned with that one for a few months. Then I went back to the DSLR, and I started to put it in manual mode. I still couldn't take pictures with manual mode. It was either too bright or it was either too dark. I didn't know about ISO at the time or aperture at the time, or the f-stop. So what I ended up doing is, in top of the camera, when you have the dial, you see that you have auto mode, manual mode. So what I ended up doing is I put it in auto mode, and then I used to write the settings that I saw in the camera, in the screen. So the f-stop, the ISO. I put the camera back in manual mode, and then I used to use those settings and say, oh, if I click this, it gets brighter or darker. That was the ISO. If I play with this, the f-stop, is more light coming in, it gets clear, but the camera is taking longer time to take the picture, and the picture was coming out blurry and stuff like that. So I say, okay, so I'm getting somewhere, but it took me 2 years to understand the whole settings of the camera. It took me a pretty long time to understand how each setting works. Now I can happily say that I can take photos in any settings. I have used cameras and movie sets and short films and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure I have knowledge of how to use a camera now. But what I'm trying to say is that it took me 2 years to go from auto mode to manual mode. Normally, it takes me less time to any type of technology to learn it and use it. But because I was now putting myself 100% to use the camera, because I was dealing with work and a baby and other things, Maybe that's why it took me 2 years, but it took me 2 years to fully understand how the camera works and what's the process behind the photo. And this video, I'm doing this video because a lot of people have asked me, how do you shoot? How do you learn how to shoot? So this is the story behind how I learned how to take pictures. I don't think my pictures are perfect. I think I'm a long way to go to get at the level that I want to be. I'm chasing myself 10 years from now in the future. But I'm always trying to get better at it every day. Every single time I go out, I'm trying to learn something new about the camera. And if you're a beginning photographer or videographer, this is a right time for you to jump in and learn. You have YouTube, you have a bunch of options. Back in the time that I started taking pictures, yes, we had YouTube, but we didn't have nobody actually speaking about camera settings in depth or anything like that. It was always, in my case, you go to Adorama or Best Buy or B&H, and then you speak with somebody. And in some cases, that somebody, they really didn't know what they were talking about. So I was lucky enough to meet some people during some work experience that they knew about cameras and I didn't know about, that they knew about cameras. We just started talking, and they a little bit told me a few things that I didn't understand at the time, but I needed somebody to explain it to me. And I'm really grateful for those gentlemen that helped me, because they improved my photography from 0 to 100 real quick, real fast. Um, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to explain is that photography is a process. It's a beautiful process, and you need to enjoy it. If you don't know how to shoot in manual mode, it's fine. It's okay. Keep shooting in auto mode. Keep shooting until you feel comfortable enough to jump in another setting. Um, just keep shooting in whatever setting you feel comfortable. I go out sometimes with some friends here in New York. I go out to take photos. They don't know the cameras in the way that I do, but they want to learn. They want to learn more. So when we go out, I always say the same thing that I just told you guys. Shoot in auto mode if that's how you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable shooting manual mode, and then you don't know a lot of things or a few things, you can ask me and I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna show you my settings, like other people have done in the past. They put the cameras with my settings, but that don't mean that the problem is solved, because I change settings a lot every single time I take a picture. Sometimes I take a picture, I don't like the aperture in this. I don't like the ISO. I don't like the shutter speed. I always constantly keep changing my settings in each picture. So that's the reason why I never recommend to fully copy my settings. I want you to feel comfortable enough with the settings that you have, that if you want to change your settings, you know how to change your settings. You know, if you lower the ISO, you know how the image is going to look. You know, if you increase the ISO, you know how the image is supposed to look. You know, if you change the aperture, you know how the image is supposed to look. So it's a process. It needs, I know that you want to get at that level, like, oh my god, this guy took a picture with all the red lights of the car, looks like lines, all the cars looks like just bright lights. How can I do that? It's a process. You just learn one by one the settings of the camera, and you're gonna get to that level to take that picture that you want. um, my journey in photography is a long journey. It has been a beautiful long journey, not painful, because most events that I have done, or movies or anything like that, um, I have never been in a situation that I say, oh shit, I messed up or anything like that. But I know some people that they have been to those situations, and it's a learning experience. So far, I have not been in that situation. I hope never to be in that situation, because I always try to extra prepare myself. But it has been a really fun journey for me to learn from day one. One of my first photos, I'm going to try to post it. and to one of my latest photos in the past 2 years. It has been a beautiful process learning photography, and I'm hope to keep going and getting better and better. This video is just to tell you my story, how I ended up doing photography, and how has been my process. I want to show you guys my settings, my basic settings in the future. Maybe in a video next week I can do that. I'm gonna take these Tuesdays as learning Tuesdays. I'm gonna try to post something to contribute to you guys every Tuesday. Something that I use that maybe can work for you, or maybe it can work for somebody else. This is mainly for beginner photographers, because I most people that know about the camera, they know everything that I'm speaking right now. Or maybe if you know about cameras and maybe it's one thing that you feel confused or you didn't know about this particular setting, and maybe I know about it, and I can show you. I'm not perfect. I don't know all the settings yet, but if you think I say something wrong about any particular settings, please put it in the comments, and we can both learn about my mistake, or I can learn about my mistake. Yeah, I'm just here to try to help some other people that I know that they've been asking me how I take this shot, how I took that shot, what settings you use. So I'm gonna try to share that with you guys at least once a week. That's gonna be the goal. But yeah, that's my story. I need to have some tea. That's my story. I hope it can help you in one way or another. If you're still shooting in auto mode, please keep doing it. Then when you feel confident enough, then you jump in manual mode or whatever mode you want to shoot at. Yeah, just keep taking pictures, keep getting better, and see you guys. I don't know if you guys are watching my blog, but see you guys tomorrow. If not, see you guys next week. All right, take care. Bye.